Hi everybody, and welcome to what Dee Thinks. Is that what I just said? Dee Talk Live, Monday's Love Talk. How is everybody? How are we all doing? That was so funny. Hope you are all really well and you are enjoying your start to your evening as well. Exciting times ahead. Also with Christmas on the horizon, guys. We've got Christmas in 3 sleeps now. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yes, in 3 sleeps. So exciting times ahead. Holiday season is upon us, which is crazy considering what a mind-blowing year we've had in regards to differential events and things that have happened and circumstances. So it's been crazy. Anyway, I hope you're all really, really well. How are you, Betty? You're well, you're gorgeous. How is everyone that is listening, watching? I hope you're all really well as well, wherever you may be watching from. So today we talk yet again another delicate topic in regards to love, and that's if you can stay friends with an ex, right? And this is why we thought to talk about it tonight, because I thought so many people have been in these types of situations. Why not? And I'm going to share my situation and my actual experience with my boyfriend at the time when I was 19. So many people like an ex is an ex. There's no point in, having a friend, an ex. There is a reason why they call them an ex, yeah? So that's one specific proverb. Another one is, why are you even still speaking to him? He's your ex, there's nothing there. And when in fact, underliningly, there is. It's a secret sort of still infatuation we might have with that significant person, because we still idolize ourselves somewhat with them. But in saying that though, even though we don't want to physically be with them, subconsciously it's still in the back of our minds. And when we still hold on to that, and we still hold on to that love, or still hold on to what we had with that person, we're never ever really able to move on, yeah? So that's the reason why I thought let's ask this question, because it's really interesting. Can you stay friends with an ex? Do you think that, it's right? Do you think there's a reason why you should, why you shouldn't, So exactly. I agree. Hey, Strat, how are you? I agree. It also has to do exactly with the circumstances, with the situation, how long you were together, what situations molded this relationship in order for it to create a friendship again. That molded the relationship initially in order for you to take it on board and say, hey, we're still going to remain friends. Right? Because it does depend on the situation. If it actually ended badly, right? Of course, you're not going to be friends with them, in many cases. And it depends exactly why they became an ex. Yes, and it's true. Because what if they did cheat on you? Or what if they, never works? Oh, guys, you rock. Ario says it never works. Betty's like, no, you guys are so funny. Because it's true. Because it's as you keep on going with the relationship though, in all reality, in all seriousness, you're not going to move on. I'm telling you, it's a thing that usually happens. So years ago, when I was 19, my boyfriend cheated on me a long time ago. And believe it or not, we're Facebook friends as well. So hi to him, and I'm not telling you who he is. He was my first love, so it was a puppy dog infatuation that we had going on. I was 19 anyway, so it was no big deal, no big even though it killed me and it hurt like hell, and at that stage it was the worst thing that I was going through in my life. We still remained friends afterwards. So for a little while we weren't speaking or anything, but eventually we just became friends again. So, but I think that's why Strat, especially, I agree with what you're saying, because it does depend on how they become your ex. And it does depend on the situation, how long you were with them. Because if it was a real serious relationship, or you were like full on into what was going on, and maybe there was marriage involved, who knows, like how, exactly how, because too many memories are brought up, we start hurting. Just things remind us of them, and and it gets harder because they come back into the mix again. And exactly, I believe that it never works in that sense either, with what Aria said, because when you're with the person, somehow sexual relations come into it again. So somehow you end up maybe having a friends with benefits type of scheme happening with them later, because you might not be with anyone at that stage, and it might be a sure thing because both of you are not really with anyone at that time. So that's what ends up happening. So even so, you've already started off being a relationship and you've spent so much time with this person, it ends up becoming something that is not as loving and not as caring, and it's just a thing where you're getting what you want out of that person, and so is he. So you're keeping them around for sexual pleasure, which is fair enough, and you should do whatever you want to do. But that's what happens eventually, and that's what pretty much gets created. So I actually had somebody that asked me to do this question, and said, can you actually do something about exes? Because her son, no, and no. Do you mean it's so true? It's crazy. And she said to me, can you please do this question for D Love Talk on Mondays? Because his ex is still around. And I'm like, what do you mean? And she's like, well, he's still friends with her. But then she's like, I don't want you. But then she's still keeping him around. So is it somewhat as well that they're keeping us around? Let's just say if I was in a relationship, or I wasn't, sorry, I was still friends with my ex still right now. One of them, anyway. And I was like, oh, okay, so, we're going to be friends. But the only reason why I was keeping the person around, wouldn't you think that that other person would have some sort of insecurity in regards to what they're thinking, or they need someone there? Whereas, the difference between needing and wanting are two different things, right? I don't need anyone. I eventually want someone. And that's how the psyche, and that's how we should be looking at everything in regards to being with someone in a relationship, because it's part of self-worth, right? But a lot of these people who tend to still hold on to the idea and to still grasp at the last living cells of that specific relationship are not ready to completely and entirely let go. So that's why they tend to stay around and stick around. But I've even said to my friend to tell her son that it's not always about, holding on to what coulda, shoulda, woulda, right? Because all these experiences that we go through, whether it be with, this relationship, that relationship, or the one next, and so on and so forth, they mold us and they teach us and they bring about lessons, right? So that's why she thought, we should really talk about this, because it's somewhat a D help talk in that sense, because he needed the help to understand that he doesn't need to still go back there, and that he can move on and he can meet somebody else to be happy. Because the more you stay stagnated and you stay in the past and you don't move on with your life or towards the future, the more illnesses you tend to go through, and the more heartbreak. And life is all about ever-changing cycles and patterns. Therefore, these patterns need to be broken in order for change to occur and in order for us to keep on marching towards where our drum is going to end and be in a place where it's going to be the happiest it's ever been, right? So I like the way that I explain things most of the time, because it's like, where do you get these things seriously? Yeah, so that's, because so many people are like, should I, what do you think? Do you guys think, that we should stay friends with an ex, or should you stay friends with an ex? Or if it's something that you think that we need to consider, or wanting to be with that person, or, and exactly, most of the times, I've got people that, that I'm friends with that, I'll turn it around. I've got people who I never had been with that I don't ever actually speak to. That's what's crazy about this, right? They're not really considered an ex because nothing really happened, but in somewhat way, when you start sort of seeing somebody, but then nothing really eventuated. But then I actually don't really talk to them. Do you get, I say hello and that's about it, but then they don't talk to me. So it's crazy. Only reason to stay friends with an ex would be if you have kids together. Otherwise, no. Well, yes. Oh, yes. And I agree with that one as well. Because I have a friend. Of course I do. No, so funny. He's my best friend. His name's Andrew. A few of you might know him. He actually is very good friends with his ex, and they have a dynamic relationship because of his son. And that's the best thing that they've ever done, which is amazing. He's great. So basically, they pretty much are really good friends, and they have this amazing relationship, and they're able to communicate with one another, even though they're still obviously, even though they're still not together, but they're really good friends. So they've maintained it and maintained those boundaries for the child, which is very respectable. It's great. That's what you should be doing, you should be looking after, because do you know what? Once you have a kid, it is about you, but it's not about you anymore. It's about that child's life and what you have to do in order to make it that much more amazing, in order for you to teach it and give it those morals and support that it needs while it's growing up. So exactly what they've done, and it's so true, is most of the times, exactly, you have to somewhat have a relationship with an ex, especially if you do have kids, and that you're sharing that common ground or principle. You have to, because it makes it harder on the child as well, I believe, eventually, if it sees its parents, but obviously not together, mum, dad, whatever, fighting consistently, and being like, oh my God, my parents hate each other, they don't have a relationship. So yes, I think so as well. And I think it is a great reason to still be friends because of children and stuff like that. So yes. But what else was I going to say? There was another important point actually I was going to bring up in regards to this topic. Because when you go into the idea, I remember going into the idea of being with someone, not only that you've been with before, not only makes it harder on the both of you, because you're put in a position where you're not attracting that vibrancy, love, energy that you need to attract towards the world, so out there into the universe, in order to attract that beautiful love that you want to get back. Because the more of that type of energy or that you have or you attract, so the more that you bring in the same type of person or the same type of energy, the more you'll understand that the same type of person you're attracting. Actually, I'll give you guys an exercise, because I've done this before. This is part of my healing journey. It was amazing, right? So at one stage, and I'm saying at one stage because we're not going to get too much into it, and these details are precious. It's hilarious. I went on a healing journey, right? And this is an actual exercise that you can do, especially if you're on the search for love and you want to really find someone. But the people you keep on finding are completely not what you want, but you keep on mirroring them. You keep on attracting them. Because remember what I said, attracting, like attracts like. So whatever you attract into your life is what you're going to get, right? So this is an exercise. You could write down how many people, like how many relationships you've been in. So what I did was, I wrote down a number of my boyfriends and obviously people that I had been with, right? And I actually found the common denomination through that, or the common characteristics through that, in order to pinpoint the negative and the positive, right? So if you document both down for each person, go through, right? And state exactly their positives, their negatives, their qualities, what type of person they were, how they made you feel, whatever you want to put in there. It's hilarious, right? So a friend of mine told me to do this, and this was part of the healing of the old in order to bring about the new, which is now what I'm mirroring, right? And I didn't realize, but I was actually mirroring, and I was pretty much attracting the same type of guy over and over. Only when I met Johnny did I have a slight breakthrough of normality, right? But then I just kept on going for the same type of person. Narcissist, blah, 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 selfish, passive aggressive, blah, blah, blah. You're not able to pinpoint these though, because this is why I'm saying this exercise is hilarious, right? You're not able to see it because you feel as though you're actually meeting a different person when in reality it's the same type of person that you're meeting, but they're just dressed differently, they look differently, they act somewhat differently, but they've always got those traits hidden in them. So the more you're able to see and be able to pick up on those, the more you are to understand that you can stop this type of behavior. And the language, right? Because it comes through language as well, that you're able to see that this person is the same person again. So let me just, you're able to pick up on that language in order for you not to attract those types of people anymore in your life. So this exercise was phenomenal. It was the best exercise that she made me do. It was great, because now my patterning and my positioning and my attracting and my way of putting myself out there and the type of energy that I'm getting and people that are, coming towards me, or like eligible men that, try and talk to me, are completely a different kettle of fish to what I used to get. Because it was the same type of energy and person that I was attracting, and mirroring. So now I'm able to go, hey, far out, I can't believe that. Oh my God. Because before, you're like, nah, what do you mean? I'm not attracting the same person. That person's different, but that type of person's different. But every single characteristic shared, if not 1 to 3 of those characteristics per person, had the same characteristics. It was crazy. I'm like, oh my God, he was aggressive. He was this, he was that. What is wrong with you? Because it's what we believe at that stage that we want, but in reality, it's not really yet, but you're not able to see it. So it's a great exercise. So if you do want to go along and do it, go for it. Literally, all it needs is a piece of paper and a pen, and all you really have to do is document down the relationships that were pretty much significant in your life. If not, you can have little ones that go through as well, because you might see different traits and characteristics. It's really interesting, but it's a way in which you understand, you accept, you heal, and you bring about what you really, really want into your life. And that's the real person, the real one, the love, what we want to mirror and give out and put into the universe, that we say, hey, this is the type of person that I want. There's also an affirmation as well that I've got that I'll probably share with you guys. When is it? I'll possibly share it this Thursday. Christmas Eve too, guys. It's bloody crazy. I can't believe that the year's nearly over and it's gone over. Like, it's gone so quick. Even today flew. it's spun out of control, and we're literally at the tail end of Monday and coming into the entering phase of the Tuesday, which is crazy. It's really, really crazy. Yes, but it is an affirmation, a love affirmation, and I will share it with you. Because I don't have it here at the moment and I can't remember, it's very long. But it's exactly what you need to just put out there into the universe in order to bring about that significant other. And obviously, work on yourselves every single day, and work on really loving thyself and being by yourself. Because then if you love being by yourself, then everyone's going to love being with you. True? Exactly. Because if you hate being by yourself, then what makes you think that that person's going to want to be with you? Exactly. They're not. Do those things to bring it about in order to make it so magical and beautiful. Anyway, thank you again to everybody for joining me tonight on Dee Love Talk Mondays. You guys rock. Thank you for all the lovely messages, the lovely texts, the great feedback that I've been receiving. You guys just rock my world. The lovely, just the lovely thoughts and the way of people writing things and the wishes and the blessings and the fact that you guys are, you know, on it and supporting. I love you. Thank you so much. Thank you. I hope you have a fabulous evening and you're taking care of yourselves and really giving yourself that self-love that you need. And I will see you guys on another Dee Talk Live on Thursday. We do have another great topic that I will give you guys the heads up about, but not today. Yeah, and I'll see you guys on Christmas Eve. It's crazy, Christmas Eve. Oh my God. We might actually do something special on that night because it is Christmas Eve. There you go. Visit our website if you haven't already as well, www.whatdeethinks.com. A lot is going on in our world. We want you to know what's going on in our world as well. And please share, like, subscribe, share our pages, whatever you want to do. Let your friends know about it. Really appreciate it, and we love you for it. Have a good night, guys, and I will see you on Thursday for another